Hi everyone, it's Rani from Design Plus Code. Today, I have prepared for you another step-by-step tutorial with Figma. In the past 5 months, we did a lot of iOS design. Now let's jump into the material design with Android this time. Why not? So, what do you think if we make travel app together? Everyone needs a vacation, right? I have prepared 3 screens for the presentation and for my prototype, but I will show you only 2 screens because it's going to be too long. Except for the pro member can have access to my full course. Don't worry, I will give you my whole design, including the whole prototype on my Figma file. So let's have a look on this app. Here is the first screen, which is the Explore screen that we are going to skip. Let's jump directly to the next screen, but let me type my destination first. Here is the Discover screen about your destination that you've chosen. We're going to reproduce it all from scratch, such as we will do the top up bar, the title with the rating review, the menu buttons, the images list with the text protection, the supporting text, and the action button. Let's go to the next page. Here is about the pricing screen with the room detail. I will show you how to create this image list with the divider using dark color to create this visible image. When my mouse is entered, the main image will appear at the top. Next, we're going to create this middle part with the text button with the description, and we will do the facility image, and we will do this map, and finally we will do the action bar with the price. So are you ready? Let's book this room in Bali. Let's get started. Material design has been the design language for Android for the past 8 years. Android material design is based on observation of the real world, and studying paper has a layer that creates the structure of the whole system. It can be described as flat design with dynamic color, with realistic shadow, light, motion, and layer diffusion. You can create an intuitive UI for the application. Especially motion and color play an important role, drawing attention of a user and enlivening static interface. The main difference from iOS are that gradient, background blur, and texture are almost non-existent. The font and icon are also different, using Roboto and Material icon as the system asset. And for iOS, we use SF Pro for the font, and for the icon, we use SF symbol. So what you will need to start your Android app? Here are some resources that can help you to get started. You will need the Material U, or you can call Material Design Tree. It's a big overhaul to the Android design language, making the color more dynamic based on the user preference, and the design even flatter with bigger rounded corner. For example, they explain you how it works, all the components. So yeah, it will be useful for you. Next, so what font you will need for Android? Normally, Roboto is the default font on Android. Roboto was interestingly chosen by Google as the main font for its mobile operating system on Android phone, making it a popular choice as a font for app UI design. This neo-grotesque font is the perfect choice for any Android app as it was designed directly in Google's laboratories. So if you don't have Roboto yet, you can download. But normally, on Figma, it's already include Roboto and pop-ins. On my design, I use a lot of pop-ins. But if you're starting out, I recommend you to use Roboto. Because Roboto is already the default font for Android, and they use this font for the UI kit already. Okay, next, what you will need is mobile.design. So if you don't know how the Android design looks like, you can go to Android and watch their app, how it looks like. For example, the home indicator is more smaller than the iOS. If you can compare, their status bar and home indicator is a little bit different. You can see iOS, the color is more vibrant with gradient, but if I go to Android, the design is a little bit more flat and clean. And for the buttons, it's more simple. Here is the bottom up bar, but for iOS, it's called tab bar. So it's a little bit different. And for the fonts, it's also different. If you need the inspiration, you can go to Dribbble.com. It's always a good direction to help you to have the inspiration. Next, you will need Unsplash.com to download the free image about your topic. Because on my app, I create travel app. So I will need a lot of image about the vacation, right? So you only need to just download and apply it to your work. Or better than that, I recommend you to download the plugin instead. The plugin Unsplash, here I already installed it, is more practical for you. For example, I'm going to create a rectangle or a frame. So right click, you will need to go to plugin and Unsplash. Then choose any image that you need. For example, I want about the vacation. I can take this one or I can change. So it's very fast and useful. Instead of the download a bunch of image on my computer, I can work even more efficiently. Next, you will need to install the Material Tree Design Kit on the community. Once you duplicate, you can publish on your theme library if you have a pro account. If you don't have a pro account, what you can do is just copy paste directly the component. For example, I need this button. Just copy paste and bring to your work. But if you already have a pro account, it's more fast to work with the asset instead. So I already duplicate, so I can just go there and bring this button. And I can use their design color system as well. And next, you will need the material design icon. So same thing, you just need to duplicate this Figma file, and then you have a bunch of icons that you need. So same thing, you only need to copy and paste to your work. They have 5 styles of each icon. So now that we get all the resources, we are ready to start our app. So let's get started. So let's create a new screen. So press A from your keyboard shortcut and take Android large. And for the corner radius, it's going to be 30 degrees. I'm going to take the same color as this background. So I'm going to take this light blue. First thing we're going to do is bring the basic component. So we're going to bring the status bar and the home indicator. You can go to the Material Tree Design Kit from the community. So go to the element, take this system bar. So I'm going to copy this one, the status bar and the home indicator. So Command C, I'm going to bring here, paste on my screen. So align horizontal center and align top. And you can drag manually to fit with the edge of the screen. So do the same thing for the home indicator. So Command C, I'm going to bring here. So align horizontal center and align bottom. Drag manually to the edge. So there you go. We're going to create the second screen, which is the information screen about your travel. So what we can do, we can duplicate the first screen to make the second screen. So Command D, all you need to do is just keep the system bar and you can delete the rest. So I'm going to delete this one. Next, we're going to create this top up bar. You can go to the Material Tree Design Kit and take this small top up bar. So Command C, bring to your work. You can just drag manually. All you need to do is change the title, or you can hide the title and change the icon. So let's change for the 2 icons. We're going to hide this first icon. We don't need that for now. To take this icon, you can go to the material design icon. So I'm going to copy paste to make it fast. Before you edit this component, you need to detach instant before editing because it's not gonna work. So copy this icon and paste right here. So Shift Option Command V. It will replace automatically without moving the position. Do the same thing with this hot icon. So Command C, Shift Option Command V. There you go. I'm going to hide this background. I don't need that for now. Make it transparent. And this one I'm going to change for light on primary instead. So let's bring it here and delete this one. There we go. The top app bar is done. Now let's create this image with Unsplash plugin. We're going to create this rectangle. So press R on your keyboard shortcut to create a rectangle to make this image. It's going to be 304 pixels. Center it and bring at the top and make sure it's on the bottom of everything. So click on this rectangle and right click plugin Unsplash. If you did not install yet, you can just go to install Unsplash plugin on the community. Just search plugin and search Unsplash. Now I'm going to tap body, or you can take any picture as you want. Of course, click on this image. There you go. Now let's create this title with the rating review. You will need the star icon. So let's start with the title first. So type T and write the title as you want. I'm going to write body with capital letters. It's going to be regular 34, center. Now let's create this rating review. So you will need the icon on the material design icon. So search for the star icon and click, and you will see where the categories come from. So it's come from the toggle category. So take any shape you want. I'm going to take the fill. So Command C and bring to your work. You can paste here. So for this icon is a little bit too big. So let's decrease the size a little bit. Let's say I'm going to resize for 16 pixels instead. There you go. Now let's add the color. It should be the same color. So I'm going to take this one. It's going to be the same color as this promotion icon. Next, we're going to add this rating. I'm going to bring here. Now let's type the text. So I'm going to write 4.9. It's going to be Puppen semi-bold 12. You can use their material color style, or you can put manually. I take the primary. You can set these colors black. So it's the same thing. So now let's add the horizontal auto layout together, this text and this star. So Shift A. Now let's add the auto layout. For the spacing, it's going to be 5. So I'm going to add the padding. So let's center first. For the top and bottom padding, it's going to be 5 each. And for the left and right paddings, it's going to be 20 each. Now let's add the fill color. For the fill color, I will keep white. And for the corner radius, it's going to be 25 degrees. So let's center. Now let's add vertical auto layout between the title and the rating review. So let's name this layer review and add another auto layout. So Shift A, or you can click on this plus. There you go. And the spacing is going to be A, and center again, and align horizontal center. Let's bring a little bit at the top like this. Now we are ready to create this menu button. So let's do it. So to create this button, we need to go on the Material 3 Design Kit, or you can just copy and paste from the first screen. But I'm going to show you anyway. So take any color you want. I'm going to take this first, the fill button. So Command C, go back, paste here for now. All you need to do is change the text and the color. So I'm going to bring here, change the text for hotel. So I'm going to use my custom color. I'm going to take the dropper and take this color. And for the fonts, it's going to be black. I'm going to use Puppen everywhere. So I'm going to detach from the detach style and use Puppen instead. And it's going to be semi-bold 14. Next, I'm going to duplicate. This time it's going to be medium. And the color is going to be white. You can go manually white, or you can use their material color system. So change the text for food and duplicate again. or you can just add the auto layout right now. So Shift A, and for the spacing is going to be 20 and center. So I'm going to duplicate again. I'm going to duplicate more. So change the text again. This one is going to be activity. Let's hide this one. And for the fourth button is going to be community. Or it can be whatever you need for your travel. Now we're going to add the padding. So for the top and bottom padding is going to be 10. And the left and right padding is going to be 20. Now I'm going to put manually to fit with the border of this screen. So I'm going to make at the top a little bit. So something like this. And when we finish with all of the elements, at the end, we will add the final vertical auto layout and make the frame like this. So for now, it looks like this. So for the top part is done. Now let's create this images list with the drop shadow to create like a hover effect. So let's begin with the text protection with the rating review. So we're going to type the subtitle first. For example, okay, I'm going to copy paste. It's going to be more fast. There you go. For the font is poppin, semi-bold, and it's supposed to be 13. There you go. Next, we're going to add the star icon. I'm going to copy the star icon here to make it fast. So copy, paste here. So I'm going to add auto layout on this star. So Shift A, and then duplicate. For start, the spacing is going to be 2, 0 padding, and we will need the half star. So go to the material design icon and search for the half star, or you can go to the asset and search for star, and then take this half star. So there you go. I'm going to take this one, the fill. So copy, and I'm going to paste at the top of this star. So Command V, what you need to do is resize to 16 by 16. There you go. You can take the same color. So we're going to add the auto layout together, title. So Shift A. So for the spacing is 5. And let's align center. And we're going to add the left padding to 20. Same thing for the right side. For the top padding is going to be 5 and 5 for the bottom. Now let's add the fill color to white. And we're going to use the independent corners. So click, and we're going to use only top right corner to 22. Same thing for the bottom right corner and bottom left corner 22 as well. So the text protection is done. Now let's create this frame, this image. So press A and make the rectangle 156 by 214. You can add the color for now. And for the corner radius is 22. Now let's add the image inside. So right click, plug in, and Unsplash to add the free image. Of course, you can choose any image you want from any topic. If I write Bali Hotel, so I'm going to take this one. There you go. I'm going to name this one text protection and bring this text protection inside of this frame. So align center, align bottom. I'm going to drag manually to the edge like this and select space between. So now let's add the drop shadow to make like a hover effect. Go to the effect. So for the Y position value, it's going to be 20 and the blur 40. And for the color, it's this dark purple. And for the color, is this dark purple. And decrease the opacity to 50% like this. So the first image is done. I'm going to name image 1. Now let's create the second image. You can duplicate this one, hide the text protection, and resize and make 136 by 186. And take up the drop shadow. Next, we can change the image. And to make like a visible image, we can add the fill color. And it's set black has default color. So increase the opacity to 50 instead. And then we're going to add this text inside of this frame. So I'm going to just copy this text label and I'm going to paste here. So make sure that is aligned center. To make it fast, I'm just going to copy property. So Option Command C. So come here, Option Command V for paste property. There you go. add horizontal auto layout between the image 1 and image 2. So Shift A to add the auto layout. Center it. We're going to add the padding on the left side, so 20 and 20 on the right padding. Center it and set to space between. So let's bring at the top a little bit. We will add the final vertical auto layout once when the other element is done. This is what we're going to do at the end. So next, we're going to create this supporting text with the action button. So let's do it. Next, we're going to add the supporting text, which means the description of the hotel. To make it fast, I'm going to copy paste. We're going to add the title first. We're going to put everything on capital. So it's popping medium 14. We're going to add the description that I'm going to just copy paste. Make sure to drag manually the text like this. So add vertical auto layout together, and for the spacing it's going to be 20. The padding on the left is going to be 20. Same thing on the right side, and for the top is going to be 10, and for the bottom is going to be 10 as well. Center it, and we're going to drag manually, and we're going to set space between instead, and we can drag manually the text like this. Okay. Next, we're going to add the continue button. What you can do is go on the material 3 design kit and take the one with the icon, for example. So Command C, so paste here. To edit this component, don't forget to detach instance. We're going to drag on the right side, and we're going to change the icon for the right arrow. Go back to the material icon and search for arrow. So I'm going to take this one, the sharp one. So Command C, I'm going to paste here. So Shift Option Command V, there you go. I'm going to change for continue. And the color style for this button is going to be this blue. So take the dropper and take this color. Of course, I'm going to change manually. The corner radius is going to be 20. There you go. I'm done with the button. I'm going to add the left padding and right padding for this one. So I'm going to add 20 at the left and 20 to the right. Center. There you go. Okay, for the menu button, I'm going to add a frame as well. So Option Command G and drag manually to fit with the screen. There we go. Then add the vertical auto layout together. So Shift A. There you go. So make sure that the spacing is 30. The padding for the top is 10 and the bottom is 20. And the alignment is top center. Next, we're going to add this button that we just create and bring it here. Make sure it's on the bottom of the content. So let's center again to make sure it's alignment center, bottom. There we go. So my second screen is finally done. Let's jump to the third screen, which is the pricing screen with a lot of information. Let's begin with the top part. I'm going to duplicate this screen. All we need to do is keep the system bar, and for the rest we can delete. So I'm going to keep this image. For the size, it's going to be 360 by 360, and for the corner radius, it's going to be 30 degrees, and we can change the image. So right click, we're going to use the Unsplash plugin, and we're going to search Bali Hotel. There you go. Next, for the top up bar, I'm going to add the fill color. Then I'm going to select this blue. For the status bar, I'm going to turn on the dark mode, and I'm going to uncheck the title, and I'm going to change the title for. Then I'm going to copy paste this icon, but before we need to detach instance. Click on those icons, Command C, then Shift Option Command V. There we go, the top part is done. Now let's add these action buttons. We will need the left and right chevron. These buttons is going to change the image. For example, for this icon, we can go to the material design icon and take the small chevron. I'm going to take this one, then paste here. I'm going to add a frame 36 by 36, and add a fill color to white. Bring this icon inside of this frame and center it. There you go. You can make your icon round, or if you want to make like a square, it's your choice. That's why I prefer to create the rectangle instead of a circle frame. If you change your mind, for the corner radius, it's going to be 20. I'm going to bring at the middle. There you go. So Option and drag. Then change the icon. So go back to the material design icon and take the right chevron. Then all you need to do is replace. So Shift Option Command V. There you go. Now we're going to name it correctly. This one is going to be chevron left button. And this one is going to be chevron right button. Now let's add horizontal auto layout. So select the two layer, Shift A, center, and add the padding on each side. So 20 at the left and 20 at the right. Then center it and just drag manually to fit with this screen. And instead of park, we're going to change for space between. So for the thumbnail, it's done. Next, let's create this small image with the visible effect using color fill with black 50% opacity. The idea is when the mouse is entered on the image will be clear and the rest of the image will appear on the top. And the rest of the image is more dark. So let's begin. We're going to create a rectangle 71 by 63. Then we're going to add the image inside of the rectangle. You can use the Unsplash plugin and you can choose the image. But I'm going to take the same image to paste right here. So I'm going to Option Command C to copy property, and I'm going to Option Command V on this rectangle. So make sure to take up the corner radius. So put it back at 0. There you go. Now we're going to add the divider. And we're going to create a rectangle and make sure that the height is the same with this image. So this image height is 63. So I'm going to create a rectangle 1 by 63. There you go. And set the color to white. And then we're going to add a frame together. So Option Command G is going to be image 1. You can duplicate many times you want by Option and drag, or you can add horizontal auto layout together. So Shift A and then duplicate the image. So center it. All you need to do is change the image and then add a dark color to make like a visible image. I'm going to copy paste to make it fast. So Option Command C, Option Command V here. I add the fill color to black color and decrease the opacity to 50. So we're going to do the same thing for the rest of the image. There you go. So on my last image, I'm going to add the text label to describe a plus image that if you click on this last image, it will appear 10 more images. So let's click on this image and tap T for text and write 10 plus. And for the fonts, it's already pop and medium 13. So let's center it. There you go. So let's add a divider on the top. And this time the width is 360 and the height is 1. Let's add the frame together. Make sure that the divider is outside of the frame image. I'm going to name it image. This one is divider. So let's add another frame. Option Command G and name it small image. Make sure the top divider is white. Now bring it on this big image frame. Bring it inside, center and align bottom. So we would like to make the corner like this. You have two choices. I want to hide this frame inside of this big image. What you can do is duplicate this image, Command D. So the top layer, right click and use as mask. There we go, is inside of this frame. The top part and the image list is done. Now that the top part is done, we're going to do the bottom sheet with the subhead, supporting text, map, and action bar. We're going to create this header with the title and the subhead, with the icon, and with the rating review. So let's begin with this title first. We're going to tap the hotel name. So for this font, it's going to be Poppin regular. and 18. Next, we're going to write this subtitle with the icon. It's going to be the location of this hotel. This is Ubud in Indonesia. Normally, the text should be smaller, so it's popping medium and 14. For the color, it's going to be secondary. I'm going to take this one, secondary 50. If you want to write manually, it's this color. Next, we're going to go get the location icon on the material design icon community. You can go to the asset and search for location. Click on the icon. It's on communication category. I'm going to take this one. So Command C, then you can paste here. I'm going to add auto layout to the icon and the subhead. So for the spacing is 5 and the alignment center. So I'm going to change the color of this icon to this yellow. And then subhead. Then we're going to add the subhead and the title together. Shift A to add the auto layout. And for the spacing, it's going to be 5. And then we're going to add this star icon with this text label. So for the rating, I'm going to put 4.5. And for the it's going to be pop-in medium 12. For the star icon, I'm going to get on my preview screen. So I'm going to take this one. So Command C, and I'm going to bring here. And I'm going to add the auto layout together. And for the spacing, it's going to be 4 and centered. Next, add the final auto layout together. I'm going to name it rating review. And this one is going to be title. So add horizontal auto layout together. Shift A. I'm going to add a padding on the left to 20 and 20 to the right. And for the top, it's going to be 10 and bottom 10 as well. I'm going to drag manually to fit with this screen border. And I'm going to set space between instead. There we go. My subhead is done. Next, we're going to create this supporting text with the action button. Let's begin with the action button. You can go to the Material Tree Design Kit and take this fill button, copy and bring to your work. Or you can go to the asset. For those who already have a pro account, use the asset right here. For this button, I'm going to name detail. I'm going to use pop-in instead, regular 13. And for the padding, I'm going to set 5 for the top padding, 5 for the bottom padding, 20 for the left padding and the right padding. The color, I'm going to choose this blue because I want to match with all of my buttons. So detach style, take this blue. Then I'm going to duplicate and I'm going to write review. For the color, I'm going to set to light purple, this one. And the color style instead of light is going to be dark secondary. I'm going to take this one. Or if you want to write manually, is this number for this color style. So I'm going to add the horizontal auto layout together. The spacing is going to be 10. So the action button is done. Next, we're going to create this supporting text, which means the description of the hotel. I already prepared my text that I took on Google. So I'm going to select the first 4 rows from surrounded to private. I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste here. And then I will duplicate this text, but with the following description from pool to schedule. I will explain you why I do that. The idea is when I click on this read more, the rest of the description will appear on the bottom because the space is too small. That's why we need this action button to open the whole description. So let's do that. Let's resize the text and I'm going to make manually to the width center. Next, I'm going to create this read more button using the frame. Let's add the 3 dots first to make like more icon. And I'm going to write read more like this and then add a frame. Option Command G. I'm going to name read more button. So I'm going to add the color of the frame, but make sure to add the same color as the background. So take the dropper and take the color of the background. Now we're going to put the text button next to the following description and make sure the text is on the same line. You will need the pixel grid. The reason why when I want to put more at the left, we can hide automatically like this. Next, we're going to add another frame, the master frame between the description and the text button. So Option Command G again, and the frame is add. I'm going to name description 1. And next, I'm going to duplicate Command D and bring at the bottom. you can add vertical auto layout together. I will explain you why. So Shift A, and for the spacing, keep it 0. While I add the auto layout, if I want to hide the second description, it will replace automatically the rest of the element. For example, I click on this read more button, the rest of the description appear and it change manually the position of the rest of the element because I use auto layout. So let's continue. For my design, I keep this first description. And for the color style for this font is secondary. I'm going to name it supporting text. Next, we're going to add the supporting text and the two buttons together. So Shift A. Now let's add the padding. So for the left and right padding is going to be 20. And for the top and bottom is going to be 10. And center and go up a little bit. There we go. The supporting text is done. Now let's see how it looks like on the prototype. So how I do that? I duplicate this screen, and for the second screen is going to be my final result. So let's say the first screen, I hide the second description, but the second screen, I open the description. That's why it's important to put the description on the auto layout. So when I open, the rest of my element will move, will change the position automatically. All I need to do is just prototype this read more button. So prototype, when you see this circle, is a connection node. So you drag to the second screen. You click on the second frame, and for the iteration detail, it's unclick, smart animate. And for the second, you can choose 200 or 100 millisecond. And on this frame description, I do the same thing. This circle, I connect this connection node to the first screen, and you do the same thing. Unclick, smart animate, linear, and for the time is 200 milliseconds. So let's see on the prototype screen. So when you click, we see the rest of the description appear. And when I click on this description, it come back to the principal description because the space is too small. That's why we need to create the action button to make this screen bigger, like this. So next, we're going to create this facility element with the round images and the subhead with this map. And then we will finish with this action bar with the price and action button. So let's do it. Let's begin with the title of this facility. We're going to write all in capital letters. Facility. And for the fonts, it's going to be Puffin Medium 14. Next, I'm going to create this round images. So press O and create a circle 64 by 64. Then add an image. So right click, go to plugin and choose Unsplash to take your free image. For example, just tap Valley Pool and take, let's say, this one. And we're going to add the subhead below. I'm going to copy paste. It's going to be more fast. So copy, paste, and the fonts should be Puffin regular 12. And the color is already primary, or you can take black manually as default color. And we're going to add auto layout together with this image. So Shift A, center, and for the spacing, it's going to be 4, and we're going to center it. There you go. Now let's duplicate. You can duplicate as many times as you want. So the first, I'm going to name it image 1. So duplicate, and you can add another horizontal auto layout. So Shift A. For the spacing, I will set 16, and then let's duplicate 5 in total. And for my prototype, I will use the horizontal scrolling like this one. So all you need to do is just change the image. To make it fast, I'm going to copy paste. So Option Command C to copy property and Option Command V to paste property. So I'm going to make it fast, doing the same thing. There we go. So for the moment, I don't see the last one, so I can hide for now. So I'm going to take this image. There we go. What I need to do is change the text description. This one is going to be free Wi-Fi. You can put more facility if you want, depending on your hotel. There you go. And for the last, let's hide for now because I don't see anything. So the fourth is breakfast. There you go. I'm going to hide this one. The last one is beach access. There you go. All of my image list is done. Next, we're going to add a frame on this image list layout. So Option Command G, I'm going to drag manually on the border of this screen. The idea for this frame is when I want to scroll horizontal, we'll see only from inside of this frame. For example, see, nothing else is moving, only this image inside the frame that I just created. It will move inside of this frame. So I'm going to write facility image. There you go. Before we start to create this map, we need to add the auto layout between the facility images and the title. So Shift 8, the spacing is going to be 10. Let's add the padding manually. So for the left padding is going to be 20 and 20 for the right padding as well. So 10 for the top padding and 10 for the bottom padding. Center it. Let's resize manually to fit with the border of the screen like this. For the constraint and the resizing is going to be her content. So now we're going to create this map. Let's hide because we don't have enough space. I'm going to create a rectangle 320 by 170. Corner radius A degree. I'm going to center it. So you need the image for this hotel. Copy paste this name hotel and search for Villa Cayucana, or you can take anyone you want. And then go to this map. All you need to do is screenshot only the part of this hotel. You can screenshot Shift Command 4 and screenshot this part and go back to your work. All you need to do, click on this rectangle and go get your image on the solid palette and go to image, choose image. There you go, the image is added. I'm going to add a small drop shadow to make it nice. So Y position value is going to be -12 and the blur is going to be 24 and the color, I take this dark blue, and for the opacity is 25. So there you go, my map is done. Make sure it's inside of the content. So let's open all the photo and I'm going to take the map, I'm going to name it map, and put inside of this layout. So there you go. My facility and map, it's done. Next, we have this last part to do is the pricing and the action bar. So let's begin with the label. I'm going to write $60 per night. So for the first label, it's going to be poppin' regular 31 and it's going to be primary or white. And for the second label, it's going to be poppin' regular 14 and the color is secondary. Next, we're going to bring the same button. So I can just copy and paste over there. And I'm going to add horizontal auto layout. So Shift 8, horizontal auto layout, spacing 71. I'm going to add the color for now because we don't see anything. I'm going to take this dark blue. And for the padding, it's going to be 20 for the left padding and 20 for the right. For the top, it's going to be 14 and 14 for the bottom as well. So for the corner radius, it's going to be 30 degrees. Make sure to put this frame on the top of all the content. So let's center it and align bottom. There you go. Now let's change the text for book now. So everything is done. Let's review quickly if everything is done properly. I can name bottom action button. Now let's add the auto layout between the bottom content and description. So let's add vertical auto layout with 0 spacing. So when I want to hide, for example, if I want to open the description or add more element, it can resize, it can hug the layout automatically like this. For the description, the spacing is supposed to be 10 instead. So there you go. All right, all of my screen is now done. Great. If you were able to follow all the steps, then congratulations! You just created an entire travel UI app from scratch. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and find it useful. Now, go ahead and build your amazing Android travel app with Figma. And don't forget to like and subscribe. So that's it. See you on the next tutorial. Bye, guys.